a striped maple. That's a stripe. That's a good example of one right there. Had his wife with him and about 4 kids. If I remember, I think there was 4 kids on the tour.
Wow.
And so he was, I would have never known. He was walking ahead of us, and I was chatting with his wife, and he told me who he was. And I'm like, yeah, go look his songs up. I'm not that good with my pop culture knowledge. Hemlock pine, this is only a little sapling, but the hemlock pine tree is having a problem with a bug called the woolly adelgid. And underneath the bough, if you can see it right here. See the little white spots right there?
Yeah.
That's the bug. That's a woolly adelgid. Usually you see it if you turn it over, but here it is on top. The woolly adelgid is drinking the sap in the hemlock pine trees inside the Smoky Mountain National Park, and it's killing them.
Oh.
So
how did that thing get here?
It got here on pallets accidentally in the 60s.
Oh.
In the 60s. And so if you look around this area, I can show you half a dozen dead hemlock trees. Here's one right there without its top. You see that one right there without its top?
Yeah.
So when they die, the top breaks off of them. It's called a widowmaker. They're very dangerous. So if you come down here, you can see, come down here. So here's the eastern white pine. the woolly adelgid is not bothering the eastern white pine. It's only drinking the sap in the hemlocks. So right here's a dead hemlock.
Yeah.
Right there. There's a dead hemlock right there. You can see they don't have their tops on them.
Yeah.
And so the woolly adelgid has been here since the 60s. And it's drinking the sap in the hemlock pine trees and killing them all over the mountains. Out here, here's a big dead one right here.
Yeah.
Right in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see why they're dangerous when the widowmaker breaks off the top, because see the branches are all spiked and pointed. So when the top drops off, it can be very dangerous. It can actually hurt somebody.
So how do they get rid of that thing?
So that's a great question, and I knew you were going to ask.
Can't just let it go unabated.
So the Park Service is working on 2 solutions to get rid of the woolly adelgid. Number 1, they've developed an insecticide in conjunction with North Carolina State University, and they have a team of humans that goes out to a hemlock tree, and they inject the insecticide into the base of the tree. The sap sucks up the insecticide, and remember, the woolly adelgid is drinking the sap, so it poisons the sap base essentially and kills the bug. Now that's a great idea, except it takes humans to do that.
And a lot of
human
humans.
has to walk up to a tree and inject it. Now what about the hemlock that's 400 yards up that mountain?
Yeah.
You're not going to walk up there and put an injection into the base of the tree. So the number 2 measure that the Park Service is doing is they imported a beetle from China. Now I know what you're thinking right now. Great idea, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now have another infestation of something that will destroy us.
So to make sure that didn't happen, now this beetle is a natural predator of the woolly adelgid.
Yeah.
And what they did before they released it to make sure that it was going to do what they wanted it to do, which was to eat the woolly adelgid, before they did that, they took that batch, they sterilized it so that it could not reproduce. So if it went into the environment and it did bad things that the Park Service did not want it to do, like eat the woolly adelgid, or if it did something else bad, it could not reproduce because it was sterilized.
Yeah. So is it working?
It worked.
Yeah.
So they're releasing that beetle starting this year, and that beetle can go way up that mountain and go eat woolly adelgids where a human's not going to go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. So it took somebody pretty smart to figure that out.
Yep. Okay. Do you remember the name of the first fern that I it did something unique. It went to sleep and it came back alive.
Yeah.
Well, this is called a maidenhair. This is a maidenhair fern. This fern right here is a fiddlehead fern. And this fern right here is a Christmas tree fern. You can see why. It looks like a Christmas tree. Christmas tree fern, fiddlehead. The fiddlehead is called fiddlehead because when it comes out of the ground in the springtime, it's all rolled up like this. It's all rolled up and it looks like the end of the scroll that's on a violin, on a fiddle. You know how you look on the end of a violin, it's got the scroll on the wood on a violin? It looks just like that.
Oh.
It's all rolled up like that. Maidenhair, fiddlehead,
Christmas tree.
Christmas tree. 1834, the government came in here, bought all the people's land out that lived in this area. They took their structures down. They left their cemeteries. So if you are ever in the national park and you see a signpost, the no horse symbol, and a trail, you know there's a cemetery. Normally it will not have this name, this placard. So a signpost, no horse symbol, and a trail in the national park, if you see that, you'll know there's a cemetery, a pioneer cemetery. This was the Wiggins family land in this area. This is the Wiggins family cemetery up here, up that hill. It's also called the Hammer Branch Cemetery because this little stream right here is called Hammer Branch. Around here, the word branch means stream. So Hammer Branch was named because up here there used to be a mill, and it made a loud hammering sound, pound, 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 pound. So this is Hammer Branch, or Hammer Stream. This is Hammer Branch Cemetery up here, and this is where the Wiggins family lived in this area. This would have been the Wiggins family land in this area. Down below, when we get down here, I'm going to show you where the Wiggins family lived. And so there are 47 cemeteries in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. And if you would like to research and read more about the cemeteries of the park, there's a book at the visitor center. It's got pictures and it's got locations, coordinates, where you can go and find the different cemeteries. This is called Hammer Branch. So we're going to go down here and we're going to go see where the Wiggins family lived. So the Wiggins family cemetery was here.
Yeah, it's there.
And then they lived down here, down below the trail.
I see.
Was it 31 or 51?
31. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. They may be down the stream. They may all be down there.
I'll look at the next one.
I found one the other day. Nope.
Nothing today, sorry.